In the quiet suburbs of Dijon, France, where dawn light falls softly on convent walls, a young woman knelt and whispered, "My God, you are the silence within my soul." Her name was Élisabeth Catez, the girl who would one day be known as Saint Élisabeth of the Trinity. From her earliest days, her heart was restless, but not with rebellion. It burned for something infinite. She loved music, laughter, and sunlight. Yet within her, there was always a deeper melody, one she could not name. As a child, her fiery temper often flared, and her mother called her the little lion. But after her first confession, something shifted. She said quietly, "I will no longer fight against love." When she was 7, she received the Eucharist for the first time and felt, as she later wrote, the presence of someone who would never leave me. That sense of indwelling, of companionship beyond words, became the axis of her life. She longed to enter the Carmelite convent near Dijon, but her widowed mother resisted. "You will break my heart," she said. Élisabeth obeyed, but in her heart, she already belonged to God. Each evening, she sat by her window, looking at the sky, repeating the words of St. Paul, "In him we live and move and have our being." She learned piano, taught catechism, and smiled at every soul she met. But beneath her joy, there was a growing silence. Not emptiness, but fullness. "My soul," she wrote, "is like a lyre, and God is the one who plays upon it." At 21, after years of waiting, her mother finally relented. Élisabeth entered the Carmelite convent and took the name Sister Élisabeth of the Trinity. She felt as though she had stepped out of noise into eternity. Life in Carmel was austere, cold mornings, hours of work and prayer, silence from sunrise to night. Yet she was radiant. Her sister said her presence was peace itself. She rarely spoke, but when she did, her words were simple and burning. "God is within you. Let him rest there." She spent hours before the tabernacle, her face lifted to invisible light. "I have found heaven on earth," she wrote. "Heaven is God in my soul, and my soul in God." Her spirituality was not a flight from the world, but a deep plunge into its heart through love. "I have chosen to be a praise of his glory," she said, quoting St. Paul. "Every moment, even the smallest, can sing to him." But the light she lived by was not always gentle. Soon after her vows, illness struck. Addison's disease, incurable and agonizing. Her body weakened, her energy faded, yet she refused pity. "I'm going to light, to love, to life," she told her sisters. "Do not weep for me, I am already in heaven." Her writings deepened, becoming a map of divine indwelling, the mystery of the Trinity, living within every soul that consents to silence. "Let yourself be loved," she wrote to a friend. "It is not by doing much that we find God, but by letting him make his home in us." She saw prayer not as asking, but as being. "The soul that is silent," she said, "allows God to sing his song." As her illness advanced, Élisabeth's world grew smaller. The garden, the chapel, her narrow bed. Yet her soul expanded beyond measure. She could no longer walk without pain, but she smiled when the sisters visited her cell. "I'm entering into silence," she whispered, "into the depth where God lives." The disease wasted her body, yet the light within her seemed to grow. Her eyes, deep and still, reflected something eternal. One sister said, "When she looks at you, it feels as if God is looking through her." In her final months, she began to write what would become her most luminous work, Heaven in Faith, a meditation on the Trinity's presence in the soul. She wrote not as a theologian, but as a lover. "The soul," she said, "is a crystal in which the light of God is reflected. The purer it becomes, the more it shines. Her pen trembled, her breath was shallow, but the words came like prayer. Believe that He dwells in you. It will change everything. She wanted the world to know that sanctity was not reserved for cloisters or visionaries. It was the quiet consent to love. My mission, she said, is to draw souls into the silence where God dwells. Even as pain consumed her, she called her illness my little companion and said, "It leads me gently toward the light." One day, a sister asked her, "What is heaven?" Élisabeth smiled faintly. "Heaven," she said, "is to be lost in love's depths, and that can begin now." Her voice weakened, but her joy did not. She wrote a final prayer. "O my God, Trinity whom I adore, help me to forget myself entirely, that I may dwell in you, still and peaceful, as if already in eternity." When the fever rose and she could no longer hold a pen, she whispered those words again and again. The sisters kept vigil beside her bed, watching the sun pour through the convent window, turning the room pale gold. Her breathing slowed. "I'm going to light," she said softly, "to love, to life." Then she closed her eyes. The air in the room stilled, as if creation itself paused. They said a radiance lingered on her face long after she died, the reflection of the silence she had become. At her funeral, no one wept loudly. It was as if heaven had gently taken her by the hand. The prioress said, "She has not left us. She has entered us." In the years that followed, her writings spread like quiet fire through the church. Her message, simple yet infinite, touched hearts that longed for peace in a restless age. Priests, poets, mothers, and monks read her words and found a doorway into contemplation. God is closer than your own breath. When she was canonized, the Pope called her a teacher of interior life, a prophet of divine presence. The film's final scene would fade to her empty cell. Sunlight moving slowly across the wall, a breeze stirring the curtains, her open prayer book resting on the bed. The camera would rise toward the window, where the light glows white and violet, dissolving into infinity. Over it, her voice would echo, "Let yourself be loved. Let silence speak. God is here." And as the music swells, soft strings and distant choir, the image fades to pure light, leaving only the quiet hum of eternity.